Hi, this is Dan Aykroyd. He's progressive. He's beautiful. He's thoughtful. He's intelligent. He's powerful. He's positive. He is Stephen Cuoco on Power 98.5 Satellite Radio.
Empowering listeners from the US to the UK. Live on air with Stephen Cuoco.
I thought you'd like some dancing this morning, or actually it's this afternoon, Andrew.
Gets the vibe going.
Doesn't it get the vibe going? Thank you to everyone who's tuning in to Live on Air with Stephen Cuoco on Power 98.5 Satellite Radio. All the latest and greatest and the best in news, sports, reality TV, entertainment, film. And now we have Mr. Andrew Toth. We are going into all about above, below the line agency. We're going to be talking about all the goodness that your agency offers, Andrew, for those that are DPs, gaffers.
Gaffers.
Gaffers, assistants, cinematographers, graphic designers.
Pretty much anything below the line.
Anything below the line. See, I got so excited I knocked my camera. What about composers?
Yep, we do composers as well. Even intimacy coordinators will do, acting coaches, even PAs, production assistants. So it goes all the way down the totem pole from higher up line producers, UPMs, all the way down to PAs and assistants for those line producers as well.
When we think of assistants, are we talking about the traditional assistants, Andrew, like what we see in corporate administrative admins? Is it at that level?
It can be. I mean, there's a lot of line producers and UPM or studio executives that work out of an office. So it can be a lot of like an office assistant, but it's also PAs in general that are the run and gun people on set as well, who are kind of the backbone in a way. They're not just getting coffee, they're helping out every single person on set. And they just don't get a lot of attention. And you don't realize like those people are really important. And if you get the wrong person, everything can get pretty messed up. So having somebody there you can rely on to go get things and go do things and not have to keep on their back making sure they're working is actually a good thing as well.
I gotta ask, I want to backpedal a little bit. Did I pronounce? I don't mind if I mess things up pronunciating. Is it gaffer or gaffer? Because I hear both pronunciations. And
I think gaffer is probably more British, I would think, or maybe European, but gaffers here in the US for sure.
Okay, because I probably because my family's European, I'm more accustomed to the European pronunciations to where I actually had to learn how to switch pronunciations of certain words growing up because I had taken on their dialect and how to switch it. I actually
happens
get corrected too much because of that's not the. They would say that's not the American way of how we pronunciate things. I'm like, well, what household are you growing up in?
I get that with my last name all the time. It's like, how do you pronounce your last name? And it's like, it's Toth in the American way, but it's actually it's Toth in European, but I go by Toth just because growing up, it was so easier for Americans to pronounce Toth than Toth. So I just generally just went with Toth instead of Toth, but Toth is technically correct.
And I said, Andrew Toth, right?
I think you said Toth. Yeah, you got it right.
Okay.
Yeah. Not even any practice. You got it.
And I'm careful when I look back on people's interviews because when I interviewed Cam Gigande, it was pronunciated on some of his interviews as Giganet. I even Googled how to pronunciate his last name. And it came up Gigande, but when I interviewed him, he didn't even bother to correct me. And I asked him, we had a conversation beforehand, like you and I did privately. And it was almost like whatever, but I wanted to get it perfect. So, okay.
He's probably so used to it. He's like, it doesn't matter.
Oh yeah, absolutely. You were born in Budapest, Hungary, and moved to the US at what age? Because it just says very young age, but we talking 5, 4?
Actually, more like 2 years old. So basically grew up in the US, but I moved back when I was 12. So I lived there for about a year and a half, maybe even 2 years, somewhere around there. So I kind of picked up the language, going through those like growing stages as well as like a younger adult. Um, and so I kind of got an experience there, but it was still middle school. So I didn't really have the experience of living there as an adult or going through like the whole ages of everything. But I would say like probably 2 years old is when I moved here, and I've been here for like 35 years now in the
Wow.
US.
Do you have dual citizenship? Can I ask
I
that?
do.
Do
I
you?
do.
Oh my
Hmm.
God, you're lucky. You're
Oh
so
yeah, I agree.
lucky.
Having EU and US, I mean, this is the best passports. They're great.
Does that mean, Andrew, that you can live however long and whenever you want in Budapest or in Hungary, or
I could, yeah.
are you serious?
Hmm. Yeah, in Hungary and Budapest technically, but for sure those areas in the EU in general, I'd probably have to like figure out different ways to go about it, but in Budapest for sure.
So you don't have to pay taxes in both countries, do you? If you're
No, just the US. It's just where I live. So just over here.
so then that means I should get a dual citizenship, did a citizenship or something somewhere, and then I only have to pay taxes in one country.
I'm not sure how it works.
Not
You might want to check with an
gonna, I'm not
accountant on that. I don't know. Don't take
asking.
my word on that.
Yeah, I don't know who I got to speak to now. I'm playing with that. Uh, we had an extraordinary private conversation. I'm blessed to be connected with you because you're someone extremely different that I never had on my radio show before. And when we think about, and I want to make sure I have it correct, as always, above, below the line, you know how I feel about the name. It's incredibly catching. It makes you want to stop to really know what you're reading. So I
Mhm.
like the little quiz, kind of like, or not quiz, but puzzle type of thing. Ooh, how am I breaking these down by word choices?
Totally.
Why this? Why, out of everything and anyone you could work with and represent, you want the gaffers, you want the DPs, you want the cinematographers, the composers? Why?
I mean, they don't get the recognition that most of the above the line people do. Like actors, directors, producers, those types of people get all the recognition. They have agents out there. Everybody knows about them. But the crew is such a backbone to all those artistic people that they don't get recognized. And I love that part of it. I love the blue collar of it. I love the fact that these people are working so hard. They're working the overtime hours, and someone should be there to protect them and make sure they're getting paid decently and make sure their hours aren't getting exposed or anything like that. So I like being part of the crew because I was part of the crew as well. And so I relate to them a lot more too.
Does it mean with your agency, are you union, not union? How does it stand with SAG, non SAG? How do you fit into all this?
So I work with both. I work with non-union productions and union productions, studios. I work with TV shows, features, commercials, non-union shorts, music videos, all of the above, just because the industry is so chaotic right now that there are so many smaller productions that are more up and coming, and the bigger productions are getting limited and limited. So all these people that are on unions are now shooting non-union just to get ends meet, and they're doing a more artistic type projects too. So although there's not the $20 million, $50 million movies, there might be like 10 $5 million movies or $21 million movies. And the scripts are so much better a lot of the times, and they're so unique and original that all these people want to jump on them now, and they're more available now to do those. So you have to be able to balance both. So we have to do union and non-union just to balance everything out.
So this doesn't include or doesn't include an upcoming actor or models, or does that fit into it at all?
No, nothing actor, director, writer, producer, anything like that. Don't touch any of that. I have much respect for them, but I don't want to work with them.
I'm going to go back to you had said, or what you had written, the biggest risk is not taking any risk. All of us have big dreams. The most difficult part is to be brave and dare to live new situations while accepting whatever is the outcome. Being a risk means there are no guarantees that you're going to achieve your dream. Starting this agency was a huge risk. Not only was it the first of its kind, but I'm also in competition with larger and more influential agencies that have been thriving in the industry for quite some time. How do you feel about that now, knowing that you wrote that and where you were then to where you're at now?
Wow, it's like, yeah, I haven't read that in a while, but it still holds up. Like I'm super, I respect what I did even more now after like just hearing you say it too. It's just like, yeah, it was very challenging. It was very scary to start an agency and competing with these giant agencies that have been out there. Also, a new concept to an agency too. Are people going to actually go through me? Why would they go through me? Why would they go to my company instead of a different company? So yeah, it still holds up 100%. Like I feel like it's working.
What would be your signature mission statement? Do you
Mhm.
have one?
Yeah, right now we're just basically our mission statement is it's not just another agency. You're not just going to go to us because you need an agent or you're going to an agency because you need to book. We're building a community. So we're not just an agency, we're a community. We're working with our clients more hands-on. We're more familiar with them. They can text us, phone call us whenever they want. Hopefully not whenever they want, but like of course.
Not when you're
And
sleeping.
exactly. And then producers and UPMs, the same thing. They're going to be booking people, not just positions. They're booking a DP because that DP actually works well with the director because of their personalities or because of their projects before or how they work on set. And just like they're more personal based rather than just a position and just a crew member you're hiring. And that goes for every position.
So, what happens when there's an emergency or a crisis or a last minute? What do you do?
Hmm.
Do you handle that? Have you handled it?
Yeah, we definitely handled it. I mean, there's a lot of times in the film industry, something pops up, a position or a DP or a production designer leaves and UPM's struggling. They're trying to figure it out and they call me and be like, hey, I need someone tomorrow. Do you have somebody? And like, I have to be able to jump on that to get someone a job. So yeah, it happens all the time.
With my PR agency, I have a tagline, many taglines and slogans. I love those,
Hmm.
but it's United Angels Dream, and the tagline is setting not it's setting your stage while the spotlight is on you. But the secondary is your second opinion resource company.
Oh.
Do you have a tagline? Why I'm asking is because I thought to myself, I want to stand out in this business of PR. I want to stand out in general to have my own signature of what Stephen Cuoco means when we think about your name, your agency's name. I want people to know that you really do need to get a second opinion. Not always is the
Mhm.
first one correct. And depending on what is being offered, the question is are you being treated fairly and is the duty of care there? So you really want to get down to know the business and the truth and something that is going to be raw and real and factual. Your second opinion resource company, go to Stephen Cuoco. Do you have that? What would be, and this doesn't mean it sound like an infomercial, but it's really you're someone that's doing things very differently because it's so corporate out there, and we know the cliques of our industry. You know, you have a background working in production departments. Do you have that slogan? Do you have that understanding that this is why you hire Andrew, why you go to above, below agency?
Yeah. I mean, the main thing is we are doing things very differently than the other agencies because we're working with the crew members in general and only the crew members. There's a lot of other agencies that will do below the line keys. They'll do the DPs, production designers, UPM line producers. We're centralizing more on the crew members too. So not only are the UPMs that are hiring going to us, we're also having the DPs who are looking to hire crew members, or the production designer needs an art director, or a makeup artist needs an assistant. They'll come to us. The crew actually come to us to hire crew as well. So it's a different mindset and it's a different way of doing things, and it kind of disrupts to not probably a better word than disrupt, but it kind of changes things, and people realize this agency is not just another agency that you go to get key members, you're getting crew members. So it's a different mentality in that way.
Just checking something here. I want to stay on that because you wrote, I came to the realization that there was not really any agency out there that represents only below the line crew members in film and TV, along with commercials. Well, all of my contacts over the years and experiences, it became obvious to me that creating an agency like this was necessary, and I was up for it. Are you there like myself? Are you there hands on? Do you travel? Are you on set? How are you given permission? Are you given permission? How are you able to be more than just a booking agency to where you are actually,
Mm-hmm. I mean,
yeah, you're actually that representative and you're there.
oh yeah, 100%. There a lot of times I've actually just spoke to somebody who was a client and was saying, I really respect that you actually go to set. A lot of my other agents would never go to set with me. They would just book the jobs and then they'd be done with me. And they
Mm.
would just wait for the next income to come in. With me, I'm actually no, I'm more personal. I'm going to show up when you have a premiere. I'm going to show up when you're on set. I'll ask, hey, is there a way I can go on set just to see how you work so I can get more personal with you that way? I can relate to your other crew members that are in your family and I can get to know them as well. So it is different in a way that I do those things. I mean, I try to fly out as much as I can if something's overseas or they're in a different state. Of course, it's all depending on budget and schedule and everything like that. I would love to do those more. If something's shooting in Europe or shooting in Paris, and I have a production designer who's doing a complete build and a set over there, it's like, why not go and check it out? And just, even if I'm there for a few days, like I mean, it's worth the trip to go to Europe, even for
Oh
a few
yeah.
days.
Oh
I
yeah.
mean, why not?
Of
And then visit a set. That'd be beautiful. Yeah. So I try to as much as I can.
Are you able to get like behind the scenes photos or videos or things for Instagram, or are you just completely autonomous and when you arrive, you're you're just a shadow. You're shadowing everything. You're shadowing advisement. You're shadowing support and comfort and partnership. Is that how I'm seeing it?
Yeah, 100%. And when you go to a set, a lot of times there's NDAs that you sign. You can't take any pictures. They don't want anything released. So a lot of times I come in as a shadow. I'm just in the background. I just kind of mingle with the person that I know and I introduce myself to the producer and director to say hi and thank you for going through our agency and stuff like that. But a lot of times, yeah, no pictures unless they say we would love to get a picture with you. Then of course I step up and do that. But I never go right away and start taking pictures. It's like I feel like that's a little bit inappropriate a lot of times, but I would love to because a lot of times it's super cool sets and I want to show people the sets. And so I have to be restricted in that way a lot.
It's almost it's exactly like Andrew when I say to people, be careful of when you take photos with, celebrities or well-established people because you become a fan and you don't want to become a fan when you're a leader. When you're a leader, you need to remain a leader. If the
Totally.
opportunity is there, great. Just like the recent Mission Impossible release with Tom Cruise,
Hmm.
you know, whatever people want to do, they can do. From a journalist perspective and in general, I'm thinking to myself, you're there for Tom, you're there for production, you're there for doing your job as a journalist. And it turns into a fandom
Hmm.
type of thing. And I'm thinking to myself, shit, this isn't about Tom Cruise. This isn't about Mission Impossible. We're seeing all these behind the scenes videos and these photo ops and everything. And it's like, um, what most people don't know, and publicists may not come out and say anything because they want journalists to give as much
Hmm.
free exposure to their clients as they can because they're also building their agency and agency's name. But in general, it is extremely taboo that publicists do not like journalists taking photos with their clients. They don't like that sort of exploitation of, oh, you're interviewing, let's say, Tom or another cast member on there. And then all of a sudden it turns into a paparazzi type of theme, not
Hmm.
an actual professional media based style of journalism. Are you cognizant, Andrew, of those areas in your business, being that it's so different from mine, that as a representative, as someone, you'll never lose your production status. That will always be part of you and your life and your career of what you've done in production. But do you see it in that way, the way that I do when I think of PR and media? Do you see it from a production standpoint as to how not only your clients are supposed to present themselves, but also the people around them and what they should do of proper, is it called decorum, I believe? Something like that.
Decorum or like etiquette. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I feel like when you go to a set, there is a very big political structure to things. You need to know not only your place, but you also have to know how you interact with other people on set. Because everybody has to realize when you're on set, it's not about the job you're currently on, it's about the future jobs and opportunities that come about. So if you, for some reason, bring someone on set and they embarrass you or they do something wrong, that looks bad on you and could actually affect you in future opportunities too. So you have to be very careful with that, of course. And I think the more respectful you are, the more people respect you in return, and then you'll get more work that way as well. So yeah, 100%. I think it's very important, the etiquette on set.
Are you educating as well, or are you being taught as well? Like, are you learning? I always say a master is a student and teacher all at the same time. So are you learning as well as teaching all at the same time?
Oh, 100%. Every time I go on set, I'm like, oh, I had no idea anything about that. There's a new camera, there's a new volume stage. They're shooting everything vertical nowadays. It's always, you can always learn something new in film and TV. It's like you have no idea what's going to come up next. So I'm always open to learning, even if I'm very comfortable that I'm going to do things wrong. Everyone's going to do things wrong. Everybody's human. So it's going to happen. I'm going to make mistakes. And then you learn from those mistakes. Then you just keep learning. I mean, I don't think I'd ever want to stop learning. I mean, I find it very fun to learn things in film and TV and learning things about commercials, music videos, how people shoot things, why people shoot things, why did you choose this over this? And so my clients teach me, and then I also give them feedback and teach them a lot of things as well from my experience because I was on set as well. So it helps that we can relate back and forth.
Can we still rely on that human beings, especially in your field, will always be necessary, and that possibly the concern of AI taking over a lot of these jobs, can we still have comfort that we are not in that place as of yet? Or can you not speak
Yeah,
on that?
no, for sure. I feel like AI technology is getting progressively better very quickly, but there's still nothing that feels the same as if you're watching a movie shot by humans versus an AI technology shot movie. You can see it and you don't feel that emotional like connection to that because there's still just like that distance from it. When you shoot it, when you're actually watching a movie shot by humans and from people, you can relate to it, you feel it, you feel those emotions just from the script in general. So I don't think we're anywhere near those stages. And if even if AI became a thing where they could shoot a whole movie and a whole TV show, music videos and everything like that, there's still going to be that world that humans want to watch what humans make, not just what AI makes. And there could be a world where we have both, which could be fine, where we have AI commercials, but we also have human generated commercials as well. Why not balance both in a way and use them to our advantage? And we can make our life easier, but still work, if that makes sense.
It does. Are you able to get or to consider creating something, taking your production skills, taking your education, and doing something that would be above below the line docu-series, something for Discovery Communication, something for maybe Hulu? Can you take us ever in a world by something your company is producing, directing, so we can get more immersed for something that is really becoming a relic?
Mhm.
Because I believe you and I touched on this isn't the 70s, 60s, 70s, and 80s, even early 90s. People are ready to say, here's this film, here's Mission Impossible, here's the TikTok, Instagram, all this other big hype. Go out and see it. Here's the premiere, and that's it. We don't learn what really went into making this film. So
Mhm.
can you, or would you ever think, Andrew, to have your company take us behind the scenes in your world, not on other people's productions, but something that you can create, or something to where people or someone can follow you, your crew, if you have one, and teach us something?
Oh yeah. I mean, I feel like that would be amazing if I was given that opportunity to almost like shoot a docu-series or maybe even just a documentary about the life of an actual below the line agent and see what exactly these people go through, what our company goes through, how we actually start from the beginning when someone has a script or they have something that's building from nothing and becomes something all the way to the premiere. And when it comes out, it goes to the streaming and people, a general audience starts to see it. I think you kind of miss that nowadays because things are punched out so quickly that you don't realize how much work has actually gone into just that one project that you saw for like 15 minutes, even a commercial or music video. There's so many people behind it, so many aspects to it. Why not teach the general audience that are not in the film industry how that actually works as well, and go into the agency world as well and kind of relate both back and forth? I think people would really appreciate it, and I would love to do that. That would be amazing.
I want you to do it. We need it.
Thank you. Yeah, I agree.
Can you imagine if you were able to incorporate into it, Andrew, the enormous amount of stress, not only with budgeting, uh, being able to finance? People assume that if you have $100 million, it's going to become a box office hit, and how much studios waste money. And even with independent filmmaking, sometimes there's not always realistic understanding of spending. You should have an episode designated just to share and highlight the responsibilities and irresponsibilities of financing, how to acquire money, how money is allocated. Maybe share a little bit, but you not do this. How it's
Hmm.
misappropriated at times and going in areas it should not be going in. We're talking about jobs. And I believe once there's more exposure and more light brought to the position and positions that you and your clients and even everyone else is in, it would make for great conversation as to how we can all do better and work better in making sure there's less waste, there's better community, there's more conversation, and there's more appropriate areas and levels to step forward into doing things that just make more sense.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I feel like bringing a mind to something that's so secluded too, in a way, secretive on like just budgets in general. A lot of people don't know what goes into budgets and what actually the money's going to, because in a way, there's almost like this, you don't talk about it. Let's keep it on the DL. Everybody gets paid a certain amount. Nobody talks about their wages. Nobody talks about their salary, how much they're making. I think the more we bring attention to that, the more open people will be to talking about money and wages and salary, that in a way that it'll help balance people's wages and salaries as well because people are more open to it. Oh, I know you made that much on that movie. I should be expected to make that because I'm in the same position you are. Why am I making less? And more people would actually be susceptible to getting people the wages they deserve as well. If that does that make sense?
Oh, absolutely. And would it stand to reason that it shouldn't matter whether you're a man or a woman? Take in consideration, there's a huge difference of someone who has 6 months experience or someone that has 20. For you, how do you keep the balance, not only, with taking in consideration and respecting the level of education and time a person has put into the years within their career of choice, but also to remove, because one day it's going to have to be done, to remove the political aspect of this is a woman, this is a man. Is there a way that you figured out how to make it equal without looking at sex or gender or race in your career?
No, I mean, even nowadays, it's still a struggle. It's very challenging. There's a lot of people that still will pay people less, pay people more, depending on race, color, and sex. It's just unfortunately, we're still living in that world. I think I am big supportive of equalizing everything as an opportunity for anybody, judging on their experience, not on the person itself, but the personality, the politics, the stage that they are in their career, rather than just pay somebody because they're a woman a lot more money or a man a lot more money just because they're one sex or the other. It doesn't make sense to me. It's about their experience. And even as a man, you should have that experience to be at that level. And as a woman, you should be at that level as well. So I think it's all about experience, not just the person who they are. You know what I mean? So
Obviously,
it,
you keep it fair, or at least you do
of
your
course,
best to
yeah,
keep it fair.
obviously, yes, 100%. I actually try to get people more money rather than less money.
Of course.
That's my job.
Without worrying about what your cut is, like most people do.
Yes, exactly. It's the long-term investment for me, the relationship with that person, not just about the cut. It's about growing someone's career so they can get to that level. And then if they start do making a lot more money, they respect what I did, and then they hopefully will want to pay me a lot more.
I believe they will. And you bring you brought such value in conversation that we had in our first round. And it's very clear you refrain from using buffer words. You don't really have stutter moments. Your brain just seems to work seamless, and it's like a heartbeat. It's very it's smooth. You're smooth
Oh, I
in
appreciate
a
that.
good
Thank
way.
you. Yeah, I love that. Thank you.
I've noticed you don't use filler words rarely. I
Mhm.
haven't counted. I haven't recognized it. I like it. You're polished.
Oh,
It's
I appreciate it. I try.
uh, although there are some challenges every day, because I believe in this agency and ideas, no matter the outcome, it will all be worth it. I give 100% to my clients and the agency, so there are no regrets. You were at an event, and back when this was written and published, it looks like it was Magic Castle. You married? Is your wife
Mhm.
is because I believe like this would be is she's in this photo if you recall.
Yes.
Is
Hmm.
she the one in a red dress
From
or
I'm
the
not sure.
blue?
Blonde. She's
Yeah,
blonde. I can't picture the picture right now.
has to be her. There's another woman there. She's wearing a blue dress, but and a blazer. But I believe your wife is probably the one in a red dress. Oh wait a minute,
Most likely. She's like my height,
yeah,
kind of,
yeah.
right?
You're a little bit taller. She's stunning.
Oh,
I
thank
like
you.
I like the balance both of you bring to each other. You guys were at the
Appreciate it.
ASC Awards. You're welcome. Seriously.
Yeah, thank you. She's a DP as well, so she works in the industry.
Is she?
She's working on the show The Pit, which is on HBO right now. So she's a DP
Wow.
on that, which is yeah, very successful. She's doing amazing things.
And your agency is the one representing her?
No, no, no. We keep that separate.
Do you keep it separate?
Her agent's doing a great job for her, so there's no reason to come to me.
I like this. You wrote, so many crew members struggle to find work on a regular basis. And when they work for a long period of time, maintaining those connections are nearly impossible with the hours on set. In addition to that, being able to change positions once established can be super difficult. How do people keep steady work, or is that something that you build towards?
It still blows my mind how a lot of freelance positions or freelance crew members can find jobs while they're working jobs and keep a schedule and keep working consistently when I feel like focusing on the job you're shooting right now, not worrying about the next job or the previous job, and balancing all those are just such a talent to be able to do that. And that's what I love to do too. I like to have that person who's on a shoot right now focus on the shoot, and I can actually get them onto the next shoot without them trying to like get out and going back and forth, back and forth. I can help relevate that little bit of stress and kind of pitch them on the next job and kind of balance their schedule a little bit more that way. It doesn't happen all the time, but it's a good way to kind of balance that as well. And then going from a position to another position is even more challenging. Let's say you're a camera operator and now you want to be a DP. I mean, it's such a struggle because you've worked in the industry for so long, you're typecasted as that position. How are you going to make the leap to something bigger or a completely different position when everybody knows you as that? So it's very challenging, and I can help kind of build that as well to kind of go into that position and make it a little bit easier, even though it's still super challenging.
Do you need to go back to university, or how do you do it? Like
No,
they don't require you to have a degree or certification?
no, nothing like that. But it all depends on how much experience you have. So let's say you are a camera operator and you want to be a DP, you're going to have to completely give up camera operating and go into the DP 100%. So there's going to be a huge gap in your work for a very long time, and you have to be able to work and make money still. But how are you going to do that? So it is challenging because you can't take those camera operator jobs anymore because then people are going to go back to hiring you as a camera operator. You have to be able to give it 100% to the new position or new job or whatever you're doing. So going back and forth doesn't work. If
It makes sense, but why? I mean, why can't someone have the flexibility when they have that skill and that talent? I would think that that's more of an asset than to say, no, you need to stay in one lane.
Yeah, I mean, I think so too. I think camera operators and DPs go hand in hand. But let's say it's something, let's say a different position. If you're a first AC and now you want to be a DP, you aren't going to be able to do both because the DPs are the ones that are hiring you as the first AC. So if you go in there saying, I'm going to be a DP, that DP is going to stop calling you as a first AC because they're going to see you as a DP now. So then you start losing those jobs. So you need to be able to give 100%.
Mm. I don't know if I would change up once I found something I'm exceptional at.
Yeah,
That
I
sounded
agree.
exhausting.
First ACs, I think, are super talented and they give a lot of work and it's a long time to get to that level. So jumping to a new one, you really have to be invested to do it. It's
Yeah, I
a
mean,
big change.
is it worth it?
A lot of times creatively it is. I think first ACs are more the grunt and they do a lot of the work and the heavy lifting and they're more like behind the scenes. The DP gets a little more of the spotlight. You can be a little more creative. You get your name, you get recognized as a DP on these shoots. The first AC, nobody really remembers the first ACs unless you're in the industry. But a DP, even outside the industry, people know Roger Deakins. They know all these bigger DPs, Greg Frazier. They know the names, but who knows the first ACs? And that's what I really want to do with the agency is kind of highlight these people that don't get the recognition. Who are these ACs that are working with the DPs? And they should be recognized and have their names out there, more popularized that like, oh, that person's amazing on set. That person works, pulls focus like crazy. This person's really good and politically on set and works creatively as well. So there's a lot of things that go into it.
Is there a restriction that you guys have when we think about interviewing? Because you're very open, but you're independent. Is there, let's say, if there was I had a DP on, or um, intimacy coordinator, do they really have to watch what they say, even if they're not speaking about a specific project? Do they have a parameter that they can only step forward to and never cross?
I mean, I think it just kind of depends on the person because everybody's kind of freelance when it's coming to the below the line people. So it's like, of course, I think you should be careful what you say, like everybody, if you're on some kind of press or anything like that. So you have to be careful with what you say. But also, I feel like the more open you are, the more people can relate to you too. So you should be honest with certain things. So I don't think there's any like strict parameters on like one way or the other. But I would give my advice and be like, maybe you shouldn't say that.
uh, Going back, I don't know if this is still relevant. You said COVID made all of this even harder and made us all rethink how we should balance our work and life. The pandemic gave a lot of us time to think and reconsider what they wanted out of their work situation. That's where the agency comes in with the promise to facilitate all the above. Are we still, or let me rephrase, are you and your team and your crew still in the residue of the pandemic, or have you bounced, not back, but have you bounced or jumped forward into having a more balanced career and just being done with all of that?
Yeah, I feel like there was the pandemic in a way has been something in the past, so it is getting a little bit better. There's not as much restrictions. The industry is bouncing back a little bit more. There's other issues, of course, in the industry that are going on right now outside of that. But I think the pandemic was the big thing where people started to realize I want to have a family. I want to have a personal life along with my career. Pre the pandemic, I think people were working crazy hours, focusing on their careers only. And then when all of a sudden the pandemic happened, people were at home and they were like, what do I do? I need hobbies. I need things to do. And after people going through that, they start to realize I want to keep those. I have a personal life and I want to be able to balance my career as well. So we're still bouncing back from that in a way. People are going back to these crazy hours. People are focusing on their careers again, but they're trying to balance those hobbies and doing a personal life and families and trying to work with both. And I think that's really challenging still.
I hope there's resolve because I don't know where to go with that anymore. I just don't. I just really
I
don't.
think it's not even just the film and TV industry. I mean, it's everywhere.
No,
I mean, careers, personal life, it's such a hard balance. I mean, probably for you too. It's probably super hard. You're so busy all the time, working crazy hours.
I have, I do, and I make it a point that I'm going to make time for me. There's no reason not to. I have perfected the way that I do what I do. I know my system and I have systems in place to where whether it's a producer, director, media, PR, interviewing, I know where they all fit. I know how much time is needed. I know how to assess a project. I know how to assess certain people who's involved or may be involved, certain contingencies, having a little bit of buffer. I'm glad you said that because I feel absolutely yummy inside of how
Oh, that's awesome.
I am. Seriously.
Oh, that's amazing. That's
It,
respectful.
well, when you live 51 years, you should be able to develop a lot of good or a decent amount of skills and systems to know how to sort out life. So not only do you not allow life to drive you nuts, but you don't drive your own self nuts.
Totally. Yeah. And I like that you said that because I think experience is the big thing. Like when you have the
Oh, yeah.
experience, you can kind of balance it a little bit better. But these newer people coming in the industry, they're focusing on 100% career. They need to realize it's the long game. You can't just like go 100% all the time. You need to have a life and balance everything. So the experience does help a lot
Yeah,
for sure.
your generation is overwhelmed, probably going to continue to be overwhelmed and inundated with such nonsense. It's like, why? It's like, how do you guys have
Hmm.
time to breathe? You will reach a point, and you don't need to wait to your 50s. You will reach a point to where you will be internally, externally, you will feel, you will say, you will think, and you will believe, I'm done. And when you get to that point and that place, emotionally, mentally, all the above of I'm done, things will collapse away. It will be fun. It will
Hmm.
be exciting. It may be slightly scary. You will not have to do anything because you will just exude this power and empowerment of I had enough.
Hmm.
And when life, energies, people, situations, and circumstances know you're not going to entertain it anymore, why bother? It's like, how often are you going to be knocking on a door? Sooner or later, someone's going to realize you're not answering. And if you're not going to answer,
Hmm.
what are they going to do? Sit down and be uncomfortable and wait by the
Yeah.
basic
Why are they going
door
to
until
knock?
you open, or are they going to leave? They're going to leave.
Hmm.
I like this. You said dedicate time to learn and post on a daily, weekly, or monthly routine. Engaging your audience on a routine basis will keep your followers coming back. Keep up with current events that relate to your company and audiences. Are you still doing that? How are you now? And just before you answer that, because I know you're holding
Hmm.
it. We're doing where are you at now? This we're going back to October 12th of 2023.
Oh, wow. Okay.
October 12th of 2023. That was your interview with Canvas Rebels. So once again,
Hmm.
where are you at now, Andrew, when we think about what you had said back in 2023, dedicate time to learn and post on a daily, weekly, or monthly routine. Engaging your audiences on a routine basis will keep your followers coming back. Keep up with current events that relate to your company and audiences?
Yeah, I mean, it was definitely a learning curve at first. I feel like in social media, you have to find a way to be a little bit different than everybody, but also relate to everybody at the same time. So I think when the agency kind of started, we were posting a lot of branding content that maybe didn't really make sense at the time, or we're trying to do something that wasn't really us.
Mm.
And now what we did was we started focusing on our clients and doing spotlights of them and their work. And I think that's what's driving people to keep coming back because they want to see what our clients are doing. They want to see what projects we're working on, what is out there, what's new stuff that's coming out as well. So, what's streaming right now? What have our clients worked on? So, it was a little bit of like, what are we posting every day? Should we post every day? Should we post every week? Should we post every month? Should we post something that's actually more exciting and we wait a little bit till the perfect time to post it? So it's a little bit more of like a game and you kind of figure it out rather than you just post on a routine basis all the time. You should have some kind of consistency there, some structure when you're doing it all the time as well. So it's a little bit a yes and a little bit of no. So we're doing things a little bit different.
Does sharing your personal life, has it worked for you, Andrew? You and your
Yeah, I think so.
life, has it worked?
Yeah, a little bit. I think it's a little scary because I'm not used to the spotlight at all, but I think it helps a lot because people can relate to someone who's a person, not just a company. It's
Yeah.
like people see my face a lot more than just a company brand name. And when people see a face, they're more likely to talk to you and work with you and develop that relationship. So it's scary, but I do. I like it.
Well, unless you are a fake AI, uh, uh, what would it be, icon or something, to where you're just digital and you're just robotic. I mean, we need to know who you are.
Yeah, for
You're
sure.
fabulous.
Hmm. Oh, thank you. I appreciate it.
Is there anything else that we should know about above, below the line? Uh, How, what, where, when? Where do you want to go with this? This is your moment. This is your time, your spotlight. Where do you want to end?
I think the big thing is right now with the industry being so challenging, I think as long as everybody in the world still is developing and wants to be in film and TV and they have that drive and energy to do it, they should be doing it. I think a lot of people are starting to give up or they're starting to move away because it's getting very challenging now and people can't make a living. And it's like, of course, that's very difficult. Like, but I think the people that are going to stick with it and focus on their career and just kind of dive into it and keep holding on, they're going to reap a lot of benefits when everything starts to coming back. And I hope a lot of people will still have that energy to do that.
I appreciate that. I want to thank everyone who's tuned in to Live on Air with Stephen Cuoco on Power 98.5 Satellite Radio, power985.com. We are live 24/7 on the iOS or Android app. Apple Music, very proud to be on Apple Music. Love it, love it, love it. Alexa, Streama, Tune In, My Tuner, Live FM Radio, and more. Not only do we have www.abovebelowtheline.com as the go-to website, looks perfect and polished. Where else do you want people to connect with you at, Andrew?
Instagram, LinkedIn, they can go to ABL Agency, Above Below the Line Agency, any way to search. Just kind of follow us whenever we can or wherever you see us and stay tuned.
Any closing thoughts?
No, I think that's great.
Okay.
Everything has been lovely.
I like it. And I like your background. Is that your studio?
Thank you. This is actually the office that we work out of.
Is it? I like it.
Hmm.
I really
Thank
do
you.
like it.
Got a
And,
lot of light coming in, which is breathtaking.
and the tree looks like it's doing well back there.
It is. I think it's a fake tree, so I appreciate it though.
We're just going to consider that's a real one. And you guys are doing
Love
a
it.
great job.
Never said anything.
And look at the light. I mean, it's thriving.
Thank you.
Thank you for being with us today. It's an honor. I'm here anytime you want to come back on. If there's projects that you would like to dissect, whether they're favorite or not, I'm even to encourage you to add that into your own content. Break it down for us. I mean, really, really break it down so that we can understand why, so that we can be more immersed in just being like, oh, hey, here's the A-list star that's in a film. Here's how much money it cost. Here's the fabulous theater where you can go and see it at. And by the way, get prepared to spend $60 on barely no snacks. And we hope you enjoy the film.
Right. Yeah. I mean, I would love to. Let's do more breakdowns and figure that out.
Seriously.
Get the more general audience knowing what's going on in the film and TV, which would be awesome. I would love to do that.
Well, this is your area. I want to learn from you. So you teach me. This is your, hey, I'm
Appreciate
the publicist.
it, yeah.
I'm the journalist. This is your lane, my friend. I'm not going to get in a car and try to drive in your lane. No.
And vice versa. I'm not doing what you're doing.
Thank you again to everyone. And if you happen to not be part of this live, you can always check out Live on Air with Stephen Cuoco on any one of your favorite podcast stations. Also, you can listen to this live episode as we re-air it by checking the schedule on either the app or power985.com. Hope you're having a great day. Stay blessed, be well, happy creating. And if you want to get a hold of Andrew and you're part of the film industry, you got the Instagram, you got the socials, and you can also go to www.abovebelowtheline.com. Take care.
Find us on your socials and let's connect.